Those of you who know me, I'm Annie. You probably haven't seen me dressed in my daytime attire. Normally I'm in loads of sport gear because I last year took on 52 sporting challenges in 52 weeks. They are now complete. So I've got free time, everyone tells me, and I don't have free time for reasons I'm going to talk to you about tonight. And I'm going to hop, every now and again I'm going to hop across to the other side because I'm going to talk to you about being the ultimate say yes too much person. And I'm going to talk about how Exerc, so Exerc is the name of the first project. It is exercise and work. It's a concept that was me looking at real life and saying I'm not ready to quit my job. I enjoy my job and I have my challenges in that. But I want to do exercise, so exercise, work, Exerc. I thought about this idea because I ran out of things to say yes to in my Deutsche Bank corporate banking job. I still enjoy it, I still do it, but the opportunities that I'd hustled for, like going and spending a month working in Spain and in Sao Paulo, that I'd literally put my hand up and said, well, they hadn't asked me to put my hand up, but I put my hand up and said, listen to me, I speak the two languages, that made sense, and it happened, but I'd kind of done everything I wanted to, so I had to create my own things. So I'm going to stand on this side of the stage when I'm talking about the say yes more stuff. I'm going to stand on this side of the stage when I'm saying say yes more to the right thing stuff. So on this side, Exerc happened because I am insatiably curious to the point of saying too much, saying yes too much. I say yes to gigs, to theatre, to travel, to friends, to family, to everything, to the point that I'm the most organised person. I'll be like, right, I'm seeing that person from 6 till 8, which is lies, I don't finish work till 7. But I'll still say yes to them at 6 and then be like, I'll try and run away from work. That's the way my life is. Standing on this side of the stage, the reason that this happened was because I realised I couldn't keep pushing that hard in so many directions because I wasn't making any progress. Exerc worked because I actually had, through a horrible twist of stuff that happens, I had half of my options of curiosity taken away, which was to go live abroad. I, through horrible things, had to stay in the UK last year, and that's why Exerc happened. So being curious is great, but being too curious can lead to stagnation. So having some of those options taken away sometimes helps a little bit. That's the before Exerc. During Exerc, back onto the say yes more. Exerc worked because at the beginning, so 1st of January it started. I started with a Hampstead Heath swim on the 1st of January at 4 degrees C with no cold water swimming experience. The lifeguard there was almost scuppered my whole 52 and 52 on the first hurdle. She was like, it's very unsafe for you to get in the water. And I was like, please, just a little bit. And she let me do a couple of laps. But it started on a whim, as most of these things do, because if you give yourself time to think about it, you scare yourself off them. So I hadn't planned anything. I'd built a website working over Christmas time, sitting at my desk. And I had to plan, and I got to say yes to everything. Everything that was sporty, to the point I just made. It wasn't yes to everything, it was actually no to a lot of things. I had to say no to certain family holidays, no to friends, because as I know, this year I'm focusing on sport. But I had 52 weekends I had to fill for the whole year. So I got to say yes to any suggestion that came my way. It was brilliant. Now you end up getting pulled in these different directions. People would say, I've always wanted to try flying trapeze. And I said, well, I'm the person to do that with you. I've never wanted to try flying trapeze, but I've got to fill my weekends. And so it all evolved like that. Going on to this, the reason that worked was because of the focus. So because of the no's that I had to say, and there were lots of them, and you learn to say no politely, or to put off the yes or the no, and give yourself a bit of time to think. But Exerc, there was nothing I was aiming for, something whether it was a success or not, but let's call it a success, was successful. I finished 52, that's why it's a success. Because I allowed myself to focus. I cut out a lot of the sort of the fluff in my life, which lucky none of my old friends are here because they were basically I had to say no to loads of things. And I had a few near burnouts, were they real burnouts, I don't know, but there were a few times I had to say to my friends, I'm really sorry, I can't commit to this kind of stuff. I went to the weddings, I went to the hen parties, but the kind of Thursday night suppers, I was like, no, that's my night that I've got to either sleep or write or do some sport or just, I was going to say watch TV, but I don't watch TV, so but that kind of stuff. So it was the focus. And then we go back over here, because now we're on the after. So I've done before, during and after. After Exerc being the last 18 days, I've opened doors. By hustling, I've become someone who is seen as someone who knows something about something, which is quite fun. not standing here talking to you about treasury of FTSE 100 companies. I'm talking about something I'm really passionate about, really proud of. And that door opening has led me to be able to say, well, to hustle less because people have started bringing things to me, but also to be able to say yes more to the things that I see as my future and I see as something I have a longevity in, as opposed to the banking stuff, which again, none of my colleagues are here so I can say this, has, although it has a purpose right now and I still believe that I'm meant to be there, those yeses have stopped. And I'm kind of, they're like, do you want to go to Dubai to see this client? And I'm like, what date is it? Because I may not be around. I really hope none of my colleagues are here because they don't know anything about that. But that kind of stuff is changing, but the say yes more to the way that I'm choosing my life to go is increasing. But saying yes more to the right stuff is hard. I am right now trying so hard. Don't anyone dare ask me what next, for starters, because I have no idea, and I'm trying so hard to give myself time to reflect. I had last year living, I don't know if it was 2 lives or 3 lives, but let's say 3 lives because it makes a better story. 3 lives all at once. I was working 11 hours a day in a bank where you've got no social media access, so all the like Twittery stuff that you saw last year, that was me sitting in the loo. On my phone. It's awful. People talk about the coffees. This was Justine isn't here, but she's like, what's that thing you call the loofus? And it's me literally sitting, and I learned how to, because I didn't do a lot of time for stretching either, and I was doing a lot of sport. So I learned how to be on, this is welcome to Annie's world, stretch my hamstring while texting on the loo, hiding my I need to have a break from that, as you can imagine. So for the next few months, there's a little bit of say yes more to me time. Somehow I'm going to do it. I need your support, because every time, even I think I said yes to the London Marathon today, which is really annoying. But I got a text and I happened to be in the loo again, but this time not in the loo, texting. And I looked at it and it was like, I've got a free place for you at the London Marathon, do you want it? And I just replied saying yes, and I was like, no! And then my next text message was, that was easy, wasn't it? Cool. But that's cool. Why not run the London Marathon if you get a free place? And then the next text message I haven't read yet will probably be, you need to raise £2,000. Sorry. But in a nutshell, push yourself, challenge yourself, maybe even exert yourself, but make sure you learn how to calm yourself as well. Over and out.
Any questions for Annie? Chris?
Not a question, more a comment. You're an incredible public speaker. I think you've got a great career where everyone would have a headache for speaking. That was absolutely amazing. You have to improve again.
You hear that, Dave? Thanks.
Andy?
Annie, I just wanted to say, like, sort of the return to the workforce is like a lot of inspiration. You know, people have 11 hours a day. Still making consequences. That's really awesome.
Thank you very much. I want questions, not compliments. I don't like compliments. Dave actually knows I swear he'll compliment me. So criticism is ideal.
Just wondering what the challenges were.
You want to know what the challenges were? I'm about to say, right, you ready, guys?
Can you list the 52?
So I tested myself. That should be my I should get Nick to rap me. By way of example, so there were 3 categories of them. Some were genuine sporting, like I did my first 2 triathlons, one of which was outdoors triathlon, because I'd always wanted to cycle outdoors, and I thought, swim and do an altitude run at the end. So those kind of things that were, and there was cycling to Paris to run the half marathon, those kind of they weren't alone. So one of the most important things about these challenges were me encouraging other people to say yes more as well, and people were invited to join me. So I didn't do a count, but quite a lot of the people in the room joined me on them. The solo challenges, then there were the kind of group touring ones. I'm a really curious person, as I mentioned, and exploring London and what free, accessible fitness we have was a really important part of Exerc. So I did some cycle touring of climbing centres, for example. So I visited 7 different climbing centres with 12 people. So I met Laura Kennington, actually, because she turned up to that one. And we did 52. 52 is a big number in my life last year. We always will be. 52 different boulder climbs at 7 different climbing centres, and cycled 52 kilometres in a day. There was also swimming different lidos around London. That was another touring one. And then the third category was the kind of gimmicky group, let's have some fun. And there was a rollerblade relay, there was a cycle line relay, and flying trapeze, but I think it was sporty but a little bit gimmicky as well. So that's an example. Exerc, the website has it all.
Hey, I'm not going to speak.
I don't think I'm well yet.
I'll do that later. But I'm interested because I love doing sport and like random challenges, but I'm always getting injured. So surely you must have got injured on summer, or you're just superhuman.
No, I'm not.
But how do you deal with that? And how do you actually?
No, so leading up to it, I was getting the year before, so 2014, I was really frustrated because I kept getting injured, and that's why it's silly I've said yes to the marathon, because I get injured when I run marathons. I started doing a thing called CrossFit, which is basically endurance, bit of weight carrying, that kind of stuff that helps with running. So you don't get better at running, and running's a really accessible sport, by running more. You get better at running by cross-training and resting a little bit as well. During the year I had, they're not uncountable injuries, there was only a few, none of them were serious, but I had a few injuries. So my knee got really bad because I bruised my knee and then cycled and then ran and loads of stuff on it and then never hiked heels. Because of the flexibility of the challenges, I flexed them basically. So I think I ran 200 kilometres in 3 weeks in September, having done no running in August, which was really stupid, so obviously I don't get injured. And I didn't run between the 4th of October when the Circle Line Relay was, and I think even the end of the year, I think I did one little run. But basically, be flexible, don't be too hard on yourself, and swimming is always a good one. You very rarely get injured in my experience of swimming. Paddleboarding, I did a challenge with Dave. It's brilliant. You very rarely get injured paddleboarding unless you paddleboard the Mississippi or the Danube. I hope you don't get injured on that.
A nice little teaser.
Yeah. Or run the coast of Britain. I've probably done that one instead. But thank you very much for listening.
Awesome.